Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Masses32210, and today we are recovering bunk boards. If you have a trailer, a boat trailer that you're starting to scuff up the bottom of your boat, you're starting to have issues with tearing things up, or you got rotten bunk boards, pretty simple. We're going to kind of walk through some quick steps. It's very easy to redo. I'm going to flip you guys right behind me and we're going to get started and make this process real easy and simple. Alright, I've got some of the essentials laid out here on my quick makeshift little bench. What I did was, before I took these fresh 2x4s, when I got this trailer, they were already mounted on these little bunk risers. So the only thing I did was I went through and marked everything with a nice Sharpie, exactly where all the holes were, and went ahead and put brand new galvanized bolts all the way through them, carriage bolts, I'm sorry. Went ahead and pre-drilled everything, made sure I have all the appropriate stuff. Now I do still have to paint the tops of them. This whole trailer's getting redone. There was nothing absolute wrong with these boards, but you would basically follow the same steps. Lay your board on there, make sure exactly where you want it. Try to mark all the holes that you want to drill, and I only went with 2 carriage bolts per riser. That's all I needed because the boat I'm putting on this trailer is very, very light. So once that's done, some of the other stuff you're going to need, I would recommend finding aluminum staples. Now, in my little town, I couldn't find them. I would have had to drive to the big city a little ways away, and I just wasn't going to end up doing that. But I have the opportunity. My boat is, like I said, is not very heavy. I can take it off and redo this at any time. For the sake of the video, we're going to go ahead and do it, and I'm using the DeWalt. These are 3/8 staples. You're going to need a staple gun, either a pair of scissors, or grab a razor blade, a very sharp brand new razor blade. Tape measure always comes in handy, and I brought the Sharpie out. And let's see what else. Unboxing here, brand new the felt. Now, or carpet actually. I ordered this off of eBay from a boat supplier south of me, so it didn't take but a couple days, and you can feel the difference. This is going to be the outside, and this is the inside. The inside is very closed, very rough. The outside is very fluffy. This stuff will not retain moisture. Very simple. Now, keep in mind that you have to buy the appropriate carpet for the bunks you're doing. Now, I have 2x4s, so I believe this one was 6 inches. No, I'm sorry. This is 1 foot, and it has to do with you want to completely wrap the entire 2x4. So what we're gonna do, we'll just try to do this all in one shot. Sorry guys, I'm gonna move y'all around. Hopefully we can get a good, nice, long shot. Now we'll just move some of this stuff out of the way, because what we're gonna end up doing, we're gonna take and stretch the entire, we're gonna stretch this out the entire length, and hopefully you can notice, let me make sure y'all can see this. I'm going to leave a couple, I did buy more than what I needed, and the reason is you want to leave at least 2 inches. Oh, sorry. I'm leaving 4 inches overlap on each side, and that's where the tape measure is going to come in handy. And I'm going to do this all the way down. So right now, taking it, stretch this out. I'm going to go down all the way down here and take out. We're going to cut it with the 4 inches extra on this end as well. And right there, just take my scissors, snip it right along, and put the extra, I'll stick it back in the box. Keep it from getting dirty before getting started. Alright, so we got it stretched out. Pretty much basic. Make sure we're going to keep that 4-inch. All right, how about this? Let's scoot this. I hate not working on a proper table. Pretty much still basic. Keep in mind, I want to keep that 4-inch stretch. Well, we're going to have 3 to 4 inches extra stretch. Make sure we'll keep it at 3 inches. That should be more than enough. Measurement is going to be the key. I want to make sure we're going to keep this definitely stretched out. I want it definitely even. Now I should do this off camera. 4 inches. So I'm leaving myself 4 inches. Keep it between the two pretty much straight. Now if you also notice, make sure the camera can get this pretty good. What I'm also doing is running, not only am I checking my end to make sure I keep my 4-inch on both sides. So I got a hair more that way. We're going to keep it dead centered. Now this isn't, yep, it should give you, if you give yourself 4 inches on each side for overlap, give yourself about 4 inches on each side of it. This is why you have, this is why it comes as a 1 foot thing, because a 1 foot sheet, you want to overlap everything. Now, what I'm going to do is I just picked right here. I'm going to try to pull it tight as I can, and I'm not going to worry about the dead tightness of it, because we're going to take up the slack from the other side. Go crazy with your staples. You bought a whole box, staple it down. Try to keep your gap even as you're working it, because like I said, the amount of staples I'm going to put in here is going to go absurd. Keep it, try to pull it tight, and this is again where your scissors are going to come in handy, or a razor blade. Hopefully you can see where I'm at. I'm going to cut just a little slit so I can pull it tight around this this bolt. Keep it tight and taut. And here we go. We're going to come up right back to another, right around to another of the bolts. And I want to make sure I keep everything nice and tight. Let me see if I can get you guys a little bit, because I think that's the sound the camera is going to make. Try to get you guys in here so you can kind of make sure you see what I'm doing. Now we notice we haven't even been in this a couple seconds. The bunk carpet's starting to go nice and around. Now I'm not going to pull this side up yet, because my whole thing, as I stated, we're just pulling it tight. And I'm just making a slit for the bolts to come around through, trying to keep it tight. I'd rather, now see that one I'm going to have to cut a little bit more of a slit. Also remove the nut a little bit. There we go. Just try to create little slits for the carpet. And you can go haywire. Go haywire down here. If nothing else, if I would have thought about it, so I wouldn't have to go to the nearest big town to order, to go pick up the aluminum staples. I could have went and ordered it off Amazon, eBay, etc. For right now, I'm going to continue this all the way down. Then I'm going to come back and put a bunch of staples in here. I want this carpet on this side to be super down. The reason is when I get ready, we'll see it on the other side, how tight I'm going to try to pull it and wrap it back around. Let me go ahead and do this, and I'll get right back with you guys. All right, if you're still with me, I went all the way down the length, and I just unloaded the staples on here. So I have more than necessary. And like I said, when you consider if you have a nice bass boat, pontoon, or like me, I'm building a john boat, regardless, if you love your craft and you love fishing, you want to take extra time on this. So here's going to be the fun part. I've read online you can use pliers if you need to, maybe channel locks, vice grips. And the reason why where the pliers come in handy, depending on how strong your hands are. Now, some people's hands aren't going to be strong as others. We are going to pull this thing tight as we can get it. You want to come around, you want to pull the extra slop. You can even put your hands like this, pull against the 2x4, pulling up on this, and wrapping it. You want to keep the tightness on this side. Go ahead and lay down a couple staples, and we're going to do this all the way around. Every square inch. Get your hands in between that carpet, pull the extra slop out of this side of the 2x4, secure it with a couple of staples, and we're going to work this entire piece all the way up and down. Keep pulling, stretching hard as you can, because remember, this carpet on your bunk, this is what's going to save the finish on your boat. Whether you got aluminum, fiberglass, whatever the case is, this is what saves it from getting dinged up and tore up as you're unloading and loading your trailer. Go through, and I'm not going to do all this on camera because I want to make sure I get this perfect as much as I can. Pull, stretch, whatever it takes. If you have to have a friend help, use whatever it takes. We're going to get this nice and tight. Tack it in place. Don't let don't let it loosen up on you. This isn't hard as it sounds. Now you can see I've already got that little maybe 1 foot section done. But I'm going to go ahead and turn this camera off. When we get down to, once I get this done, I'll bring you guys back and we're going to show you how to cover your ends. This is just going to be just the same thing over and over. Pull tight, pull tight. Now when you get to, let me see, make sure I get this. If you notice, like right here, I'm going to get to where one of my bolts is protruding through. Same thing, I'll just cut a little slit. Let it come around. Matter of fact, I can do this real quick. Gonna pull it tight, using both hands, whatever it takes. I'm going to come in, lay a staple or two. Let's lay them right next to each other. And right here, right where my finger is at, I see my little bolt. I'm just going to cut just a hair to go around it. Just put a couple of them in there. Same thing, make sure my carpet is tight on the other side. And here we go. Just pull it nice and tight. Don't staple your fingers to the carpet. And there she goes. I'm going to repeat this process, take out any looseness that I see. Continue this down the whole bunk. I'll bring you guys back. I'll show you how to fold the ends. And this bunk should be done. Alright, so obviously if you're still with me, you really want to recover your boat bunks. One tip I will give, wherever I slit the carpet to go around the carriage bolt, I made sure I put a couple staples right dead in the center. It kind of pulls them together, doesn't let them come apart. Like I said, staples are going to be the key to keep this all together. Now we're down, as you can see, she's nice and wrapped. You could probably see the indentations where I just unloaded the staple gun. And the reason is I don't want this to come apart. I don't want to scratch up the finish on my boat. Now we got about a 4-inch overlap, just like wrapping Christmas presents. That's where this is going to hopefully come in hand. Now, let's see. This stuff is very thick. I want to make sure, we're going to make sure that we can get this, trying to make sure how we're going to do this too. So, because this stuff is super thick, It's been a minute ago since I've wrapped one of these. I like to hopefully get my corners nice and neat. What I'm going to do is remove a little bit here. Take a little square out. Hopefully you can kind of see. And there's different ways that people do this. What I'm going to do is just remove a little. Just taking out a little bit of this bunk material so we can kind of do it like a Christmas present. Fold down so we got a nice thick edge. Take, pull it over, make sure. I just took a little bit out because this is where the front of the boat's going to end up hitting. This is the rear of my bunk. Kind of fold in the corners just a hair. Now everybody does this a little different, so if you can kind of notice what I did, hopefully the camera's getting it right in view. Just kind of give me like a little O. When I hold it flat, you notice it's kind of giving me like a little V. Take that, pull it over, secure it down. I'm going to put 3 because I'm on camera. I want to make sure none of that 2x4 is exposed. I want to make sure that if the boat hits right here, that there's enough cushion. Now, some people have different techniques on wrapping the ends, but this technique gives me nice, super thick corners. And after I get off the camera, I'm going to do the other side the same way. I'm going to unload a bunch of staples here. I don't want to try to get them. You could technically put some here in the front, but I want to avoid any metal at all being on this front, the sides, and the very top. And it's just like I was saying, well, we can do it right now. Push down firm. See, because I didn't push firm down on the one that tacked it in, it came up. And that's exactly what I don't want. Make sure your boat hits, you have cushion. That's what this is supposed to do, is provide a cushion. And if you have to, you can always come back. I'm glad that one didn't go in, because that is kind of to the bottom side, kind of angled, but I do need to reload. Don't go shy with the staples. Matter of fact, if this one didn't penetrate, I'm going to actually remove this one. And I will probably come back and put another complete row along both these edges. I want, like I said, this to be very secure. And if you notice, I went ahead and put my lock washers and the nuts back on. And if we flip it, besides the other end not completely done, you got one nice covered boat bunk. It's done. It's ready to go back on the trailer, which I still have to paint the top sides of my bunk risers as I've been refurbishing this old. I'm not sure of the year because I never got a title, but I'm going to run down to my DMV. Actually, I'll hit the scale house on the way down there, scale it out. This thing can't be more than 150, 200 pounds. It's a very small trailer for a very small John boat. But I hope you guys rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching my videos. It's you guys that help make it where I want to actually come out and do these videos, to hopefully help the next guy who's never done something like this. Don't be afraid. Just get out there and do it. I think the carpet cost me around $16 to $20, depending on what size bunks. Please read the descriptions when you're buying your bunk carpet. 12-inch wide sounds like it's more than enough. It'll cover a 2x4, and it is. But keep in mind, you want complete overlap. You want to cover that bunk. That bunk carpet is what's ensuring the finish on your boat doesn't get gouged up. Use appropriate stuff. The bunk carpet is designed for brackish, fresh, salt water. It's designed to hold the minimum amount of moisture and release it, not to rot out the wood underneath. And also, use pressure-treated lumber for the bunks themselves. That will help prevent them from rotting. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to quit babbling and sign off. Please, thumbs up and share this video. Let's get this channel to the sky. I'm trying to get up to the 100,000 subscriber mark. Thank you, guys. All right, I figured This is several days later. We can see what it looks like. I went ahead and mounted the wheels. Still got to grease the hubs, tighten the lug nuts down. Went ahead and installed the bunk risers. The tops of them aren't painted yet, and that's because I had to paint everything upside down. Went ahead and done a separate video on how to recover your bunk boards. So all I got to do is paint these, let them dry. As thick as I'm laying on the paint, I want to let it get. I give it several days to dry and cure before I'll go ahead and install these lug nuts. Why it's important on a boat trailer if you're using it in salt water. I do have one lug I need to clean up. I need to really, it didn't have a lug nut on it, so I need to really clean that lug stud. But hopefully you can see how much weight these anorexic lug nuts have lost compared to that one. All of these are supposed to be the same diameter as this. So this is why it's important to replace your lug nuts and to keep them clean. Rinse off your trailers or anything that has to do with salt water, even brackish water. So I went ahead and bought a pack there are 2 packs of 5s. Went ahead and done that. I have the hardware for this. I'm not going to install this till the bunk boards are done. I'm going to do this way after this video is done. The reason is I put these the bunk risers identical to how they came off. I like the fact because this trailer is going to be down the boat ramp, it's going to allow it to slip up. Then I want the front, because the way the front of my particular boat angles up, I wanted to keep the angle going straight up to there. So what I'm going to do is reinstall this bunk roller, or the boat roller, right here, and I'm going to put a board or a level. I want to make sure the boat will ride and help glide up. But like I said, that's going to be done after this video. I'll make a follow-up one. I still have a couple of touch-ups to do on the very bottom side of the frame. That's something else I'm going to do off camera. There's no point to it. If you can see, went ahead and used my little vinyl cutter. Went ahead and threw on my YouTube logo. I have 3. I have one on this side, one on that side of the front of the trailer, one on the back. Got to advertise while you drive. This, for right now, I'm going to leave it in this position. As you can see, it's fully adjustable. I'm going to leave it there until I get the boat back on here and we figure out exactly where it needs to go. Same thing as I stated in an earlier clip, I want to replace this to really sandwich everything together. That will all get done once the boat's on. But right now, what we're going to do, went to Harbor Freight, grabbed some goodies. I figure let's go ahead and install these. At least they'll be mounted on this trailer and get it off the cinder block. Still got some more painting up here to do. I forgot to grab the key to remove this cheesy lock. Nothing against my buddy Eddie, I appreciate it. But I'm going to go ahead and switch this out for like one I keep on my 16-foot. It's a little bit more cut resistant, so you cannot get any kind of cutter in there. This as well, this needs to get painted. I will clean this chain up and paint it, and I do want to switch these because on a camper of mine, I have literally, it came uncoupled and I literally straightened these so-called safety hooks out. Alright, without further ado, let's get y'all on a tripod. Let's get these things on here so we can get this video wrapped up. I'm trying to figure out how you open this sucker. Here we go. One nice new boat winch. Instructions. Nobody bothers with instructions. This is actually very simple. Really don't need it. Nice setup. Comes nice and oily so that of course it doesn't rust while you're waiting to buy it. Not like Harbor Freight would ever sell you anything cheesy, right? Now, I see one problem. Let me get you guys moved over here. Now, I would have liked to keep this under here, but I didn't take this with me. If you notice, that's not going to work like that. So I'm going to have to flip all this upside down. I guess let me grab some wrenches. We'll do this quickly. I'm going to have to flip this whole unit upside down to be able to fit this winch on here.